What if I told you that new smartphone isn't actually worth $1,000? Instead, it's worth exactly 42 hours of your life, sitting in a cubicle, answering emails, and dealing with that one coworker who always heats up fish in the microwave. Most of us look at price tags as abstract numbers, but the Life Hour Exchange is a viral challenge that is flipping the script. It forces you to stop asking, "Can I afford this?" and start asking, "Is this item worth the 3 days of my existence I had to trade to get it?" Today, we are diving deep into why this mental shift is the most powerful financial tool you've never used. Get ready to see your bank account and your schedule in a completely different light. Welcome back to the channel, where we explore the intersection of psychology and personal freedom. Today, we're breaking down the Life Hour Exchange, a concept that has taken the internet by storm for its brutal honesty. We're going to show you the exact math to calculate your own life rate, how to apply it to your daily habits, and why the simple trick can save you thousands of dollars a year without ever feeling like you're on a budget. By the end of this video, you'll have a new lens for every purchase you make. Let's get into the mechanics of your time. To start the Life Hour Exchange, we have to look at your real hourly wage. Most people think their hourly rate is just whatever their salary says on paper, but that's a lie. To get your true number, you have to subtract taxes, commuting costs, and work-related expenses, like professional clothing or lunch outings. Then you have to add in the hours you spend commuting or thinking about work at home. This is your life hour value, the amount of cold, hard cash you actually take home for every hour you dedicate to your career. For many, a $25 an hour job ends up being closer to $15 an hour in real life. Once you have that number, the world starts to look very different. Imagine walking into a coffee shop. That $5 latte isn't just $5 anymore. If your real hourly wage is $15, that latte represents 20 minutes of your life. Now, 20 minutes might not seem like much, but when you realize you're trading the first 20 minutes of your morning commute just to have a drink, you start to question the value. The goal isn't to stop buying coffee, but to stop spending your life force on things that don't actually bring you joy or utility. It's about intentionality. The psychology behind this is fascinating. Our brains are hardwired to struggle with large, abstract numbers, but we have an intuitive understanding of time. We know what an hour feels like. We know the weight of a long Monday afternoon. When we translate a $500 car payment into 40 hours of labor, our brain suddenly processes the cost as a physical sensation of effort. This bypasses the dopamine hit we get from shopping and triggers the part of the brain responsible for long-term survival. It's a biological hack to prevent impulsive spending. Think about your last big purchase. Maybe it was a designer handbag, a new gaming console, or a high-end dinner. Now, take the price and divide it by your real hourly wage. How many hours did you work for it? If you spent 30 hours working for a handbag, was that bag worth a full week of your life? When you visualize those 30 hours, the stress, the meetings, the missed time with family, does the bag still look as beautiful? This is the heart of the Life Hour Exchange. It's a reality check that bridges the gap between our labor and our lifestyle. The viral nature of this challenge comes from people sharing their regret ratios. Users on social media are posting videos showing items they bought and calculating the hours they wasted. One user showed a $300 coat that she only wore twice. At her wage, that coat cost her 20 hours of work. That means every time she wore it, it cost her 10 hours of her life. Seeing it framed that way makes the waste feel much more personal. It's not just money down the drain. It's pieces of her youth and energy that she can never get back. But the Life Hour Exchange isn't just about guilt. It's about liberation. When you realize that you are the one in control of your time currency, you gain a new kind of power. You can decide that certain things are worth the time. Maybe a vacation that costs 100 hours of work is exactly what you need to recharge. If you consciously decide that the experience is worth those 100 hours, you can enjoy it without the spender's remorse that usually follows a big purchase. You've already paid the price in time, and you've done so willingly. Let's look at the math of everyday convenience. Think about food delivery apps. A $15 meal often becomes $30 after fees, tips, and markups. If you earn $15 an hour, That single meal cost you 2 hours of work. Was that delivery worth 2 hours of your life? Or would you rather have spent 30 minutes cooking and bought back an hour and a half of your freedom? This is where the challenge really starts to change people's daily routines. It turns chores like cooking or cleaning into high-value tasks because they protect your most precious asset, your time. Many participants in the challenge have started using time tags. They literally print out small labels and stick them on their credit cards or laptops. The label says 1 hour equals $20 or whatever their rate is. Every time they go to swipe that card, they have to do the mental math. It's a physical speed bump for the brain. It stops the autopilot spending that occurs in our digital economy. In a world of one-click ordering and invisible transactions, these time tags bring the physical reality of work back into the palm of your hand. Now, let's talk about the life hour of debt. This is where the math gets truly scary. When you buy something on a credit card and don't pay it off, you aren't just paying interest in dollars. You are committing your future hours to work for something you've already consumed. A $1,000 balance at 20% interest means you are working extra hours every month just to pay for the privilege of having spent your time earlier. You are essentially borrowing hours from your future self. This perspective makes high-interest debt feel like a form of time slavery. What happens when you apply this to your housing? If your rent or mortgage takes up half of your monthly income, it means you are working 2 weeks of every month just to have a roof over your head. For some, that's a trade they are happy to make for a beautiful home. For others, it's a wake-up call that they are house poor, meaning they are trading too much of their limited time on Earth for a zip code. The Life Hour Exchange helps you decide if your environment is worth the massive time investment it requires. The challenge also sheds light on the upgrade trap. We often feel pressured to get the newest version of everything. But if your current phone works fine and the new one costs 60 hours of work, are those 60 hours worth the slightly better camera? Could you use those 60 hours to do something else? Maybe those 60 hours represent a week of unpaid vacation you could have taken. By choosing the old item, you are effectively buying a week of freedom. That is the ultimate trade-off that the Life Hour mindset reveals. To really master this, you need to think about your energy hours. Not all hours at work are equal. Some are high stress, some are easy. If you have a job you absolutely hate, your life hour value is actually higher because each hour feels longer and costs you more in mental health. If you love your job, the cost feels lower. This nuance allows you to adjust your spending based on your job satisfaction. If work is a grind, you should be much more protective of the money it produces because the cost of earning it is so high. The Life Hour Exchange isn't just for individuals. It's a great way for couples to communicate about money. Instead of arguing over a $100 dinner, you can talk about whether the dinner was worth 5 hours of our collective time. It shifts the conversation from, "You're spending too much," to, "Is this how we want to spend our lives?" It creates a shared language of value that is based on the most precious thing you share, your time together. This often leads to more harmonious financial planning and fewer conflicts over budgets. Let's talk about the maintenance hours. When we buy things, we don't just pay for them once. We pay for them in the time it takes to clean, repair, and manage them. A bigger house requires more cleaning hours. A luxury car requires more service hours. The Life Hour Exchange encourages you to calculate these hidden costs. If a boat costs you 20 hours a month in maintenance and work to pay for upkeep, is the 2 hours of joy you get from it every weekend worth the trade? Often, the things we own end up owning our time. One of the most powerful realizations from the Life Hour Challenge is the gap to freedom. If you calculate your monthly must-haves in hours, you can see exactly how close you are to financial independence. If your bills cost 100 hours of work a month and you work 160, you are working 60 hours for extras. If you can reduce your must-haves to 80 hours, you've just bought yourself 20 hours of life every month. This is the math of early retirement and lifestyle design. It's not about millions, it's about hours. How do you start today? First, do the math. Take your monthly take-home pay, subtract your commute costs and work expenses, and divide it by the total hours you spend on work-related activities. That is your magic number. Write it down and put it in your wallet. For the next 7 days, every time you buy something over $20, do the division. Just observe. Don't judge yourself yet. Just see the hours. You might be surprised at how quickly your impulses vanish when they are framed as a trade-off for your life. Many people find that after a week of the Life Hour exchange, they naturally become more minimalist, not because they are trying to be trendy, but because they value their time too much to waste it on clutter. Each item in your home represents hours of your life. If your home is full of stuff you don't use, it's like a graveyard for your spent time. Clearing out the clutter and stopping new clutter from entering is a way of honoring the work you've done. It's a form of self-respect that manifests in your bank account. This mindset also changes how you view your career. If you realize your life hour rate is too low for the energy you're putting in, it gives you the data-driven confidence to ask for a raise or look for a new job. You're not just asking for more money, you're asking for a better valuation of your life. It turns a scary boss conversation into a logical business negotiation. I am currently trading my life for X, but the market value of my life is Y. It's a very empowering way to approach your professional growth. Let's talk about the experience premium. Sometimes the Life Hour exchange tells you to spend more. If an experience, like a concert or a class, is worth 50 hours of work because it will give you memories for a lifetime or a new skill, then the math supports the purchase. It removes the guilt from spending on things that truly matter. It's about high ROI, return on investment, for your happiness. You stop being cheap and start being value-focused. This is a much more sustainable way to live than constant deprivation. The viral challenge often includes a time audit of your subscriptions. We all have those $10 a month services we don't use. If your life rate is $20 an hour, that subscription is taking 30 minutes of your work life every single month. Over a year, that's 6 hours. You worked almost a full day just to pay for a streaming service you never watch. When you see it as, I worked from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. for this app, you'll find the motivation to hit that cancel button immediately. The Life Hour exchange also helps with comparison culture. When we see someone on social media with a new car or a big house, we often feel envious. But with this mindset, you realize you don't know how many hours they had to trade for those things. Maybe they are working 80-hour weeks and never see their kids to pay for that car. When you view luxury as a time debt, the envy disappears. You might find you prefer your modest lifestyle and your 40-hour work week. You're richer in time, even if they have more stuff. It's important to remember that this isn't about being perfect. We all make impulsive choices. The Life Hour exchange is a compass, not a cage. It's about shifting the average of your decisions over time. If you can make 20% better choices this month than last month, you are effectively giving yourself a 20% life raise. You are reclaiming hours that would have been lost to the void of mindless consumerism. That is a massive win for your mental health and your future. Think about the concept of passive time. This is what happens when your investments or savings start to pay your life hours for you. If your savings account generates enough interest to pay for your phone bill, that bill now costs you 0 hours of work. You have reached a level where your money is working so you don't have to. The Life Hour exchange makes this goal feel much more tangible. You're not just saving for retirement, you're buying back your Mondays, one bill at a time. Social media is full of stories from people who have quit their high-stress jobs after doing this challenge. They realized that the extra money they were making was being spent on stress relief purchases, takeout, expensive drinks, retail therapy. When they calculated the life hours, they realized they could work a lower-paying, lower-stress job, spend less on relief, and actually come out ahead in terms of free time. The math often proves that more money doesn't always equal more life. As you move forward, try to gamify the process. Challenge yourself to a 0-hour week, where you only spend money on essentials that you've already bought with your passive time or savings. See how it feels to go through a week without trading any new hours for temporary goods. People often find they are more creative and resourceful when they view their hours as a non-renewable resource. It's the ultimate game of life, and you are finally learning the rules of the currency that actually matters. The world is designed to make you forget the value of your time. From targeted ads to buy now, pay later schemes, every corporate system wants to separate you from your labor as quickly as possible. The Life Hour Exchange is your shield. It is a simple, logical way to defend your existence. Remember, you can always earn more money, but you can never, ever earn more time. Every dollar you spend is a piece of your life you gave away. Make sure it was worth the trade. We've covered the math, the psychology, and the community behind this viral movement. Now it's your turn. Calculate your life hour rate tonight. Look at your last 3 purchases through that lens. Did you spend your life well? Or are you ready to start the exchange and buy your freedom back? The journey to financial mindset mastery starts with this one simple calculation. Your future self will thank you for the hours you saved today. Let's make every hour count. Thank you for watching this deep dive into the Life Hour Exchange. If this perspective shift helped you, let us know in the comments. What's one thing you won't be buying now that you know its time cost? Don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates on how to master your money and your life. Hit that notification bell so you never miss a chance to reclaim your time. We'll see you in the next video, where we continue to explore the path to true freedom.